Hey guys, hope you're all doing fantastic today. I am doing pretty good. Can't complain. It's a normal day. Um, we got, well, I got a vacation coming up shortly, so I'm getting pumped for that. Basically, took off. I think I mentioned this before, but the way I managed it was I like taking off days that are around holidays. So, like if 4th of July is on a Tuesday, I'll take off Monday and Wednesday. That's only 2 days, and yet I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. I have a 5 day weekend for to only taking 2 days off. So that kind of thing. For Christmas this year, it happened to fall on what was it Tuesday, Thursday, and then we get off for New Year's Day, not Eve, unfortunately. So I got off. I took off Monday, Tuesday, or no, I took off Monday and then Thursday, Friday, and then the following week I took off Monday, Tuesday. That was 5 days for 2024, and then I took off Thursday and Friday, so 2 days for 2025, and I ended up getting a 16-day weekend. You can't for what 5, 6, 7 days, 5 days for 2024, 2 days for 2025, and I got a 16-day weekend. I can't beat that. So let's crack right into the advent calendar. Take the last 3 days. I'm having a blast with it. I hope you guys are too. Let me know if you guys ended up picking up any of the advent calendars, or if you're doing other types of advent calendars. Let me know. I know some people that I've talked to were lucky enough to find like Pokemon card ones, or more of like alcoholic beverages type ones, like wine or something. Yeah, I hope you guys are having fun and going into the holidays. But yeah, let's get cracking on the advent calendar and see what we get. So Star Wars again, just knocking it out of the park with these. The minifigure of the Imperial Praetorian Guard, the U-Wing and Jedi Starfighters. Love these. I actually have the U-Wing from, what was that? That was probably like, what, 6 to 8 years ago? Then that one came out. That one was really cool. I have that one. Uh, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, I just picked that one up. It's a newer set. Just picked that one up and I love it. It's cool. But I love having the minifigure as well. Harry Potter's got some nice builds with day 18 being the large Christmas tree, day 19 being Professor Flitwick, with a little, I don't know if you want to call this the shield, the picture shield, or whatever you want to call them. And the book or the manual shows them with a question mark. So I don't know if those are just random and you get whatever one you get. Um, I think that's cool. It also did the same thing for the fireplace and chimney, or fireplace and chimney. You want to call it that? The fireplace, the mantle. That one also came with a question mark on it too. So I wasn't sure which one I was going to get until I opened up the bag for it. But that's cool. I like that. And we're still kind of on the redemption arc of the city advent calendar. You got the snowman, the Christmas tree, and the reindeer and sleigh mini kit, if you want to call it that. Not bad. I mean, I was waiting to get a Christmas tree and a snowman, so that's kind of a gimme. I wonder when we're going to get Santa, but this isn't bad. It was a nice little pick-me-up. So it's cool that we got these and it wasn't just a minifigure on one of those days. But overall, this was actually a good few days with the Star Wars, Harry Potter, and City. Very cool. Alright, so speaking of Lego, something that just popped up a few days ago now is a rumored $1,000 Lego set for the Death Star. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, and I don't like talking about rumors much because they're not founded on a whole lot of information, is because this is popping up on so many sites. And I want to give my take on if it's worth it or not. For $1,000, that's not chump change. That's an expensive amount of money for a plastic toy, especially if you're just collecting it. The issue with it is this. It's $1,000 price tag on only 8,000 pieces. Two things jump out to me. One, it's the Disney and Star Wars IP. They're not going to come cheap. Two, there's probably going to be a lot of minifigs, and that's where the money's going to come from. Because those are the only two rumored things so far. about that being that it's the Death Star. But going through the different articles, they all talk about like this one, how many pieces will make up the 2025 Lego Death Star set. We don't have an exact figure yet, but Coulson, the person that they're getting their information from, has speculated on it based on similar sets of scale. The AT-AT is 6785 for pieces, while the Millennium Falcon clocks in at 7541. You think for the additional $140, Lego's new Death Star is going to be made up of at least 8,000 pieces. They reported that the last version of the Death Star back in 2005 was made up of just under 3,500 pieces. So my issue with it is that if it's literally made up of only 8,000 pieces, 100% will not be buying this set. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. When you have sets like the Titanic or the Eiffel Tower coming in at the piece or the Colosseum at the piece, and I get it, some of the pieces are smaller, but I don't care. It's not worth it to me. For the Lego Star Wars fans, sure, go for it. You're hardcore, that's the only set you're really purchasing sets for, by all means, go and do it. But when you have multiple themes or sets that you purchase from, not to mention I have a mortgage on a house that I have to pay, and if it comes down to it down the road, if I actually have a family, I can't just openly spend $1,000 on, like if I spend $1,000 on something, that's basically going to be over half of my limit for Lego in the year. And I just can't do that. At least not with one build. $1,000 should be able to get me a Titanic and I don't know, that's almost Titanic and Rivendell. Almost. You're only off by like what, $100 or so? That's nuts. I would much rather get Rivendell and the Titanic over this for something like that. So let me know what you guys think below. If you guys think that's way out of line on my thinking for it, or if you're for it, or if you're against it, let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to see other people's opinions on this and maybe take a different route of thinking. So let me know what you guys think. All right, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. My voice is a little hoarse, so I'm going to try and make this a little short. But the last few days, we've had a few Christmas get-togethers that we had to do. So wanted to jump right into the advent calendars, get those taken care of. We're doing the last 4 days combined. I'm going to save Star Wars for last because to me that was just a phenomenal 10 out of 10 advent calendar. It was great all the way through. Mini kit was my favorite, but all the other builds and the minifigs were perfect, spot on. The Lego Cities one, it was divisive, to say the least. You either like the minifigs, but the builds weren't all that great, to be honest with you. I think it was kind of like a advent calendar on a budget. It got the point across, but it just did it the cheapest way possible. And then Harry Potter, I felt was very heartwarming. So we'll jump into those and I'll explain a little bit more into that. So for day 21, we got the Toy Soldier, which is a nice little build, simple. Day 22, we got the Toy Train, which is, it's cool. It gets the point across. I want to say the Harry Potter one did it a little better, where it was around like the skirt of the tree type of thing. That was cool. I get it though. This is more like a toy that a kid would probably play with, so I understand that. Day 23 was a sled, very kind of basic, generic type stuff. And then, of course, on day 24 we get Santa Claus, which is a must. But overall, yeah, it did well on the minifigs. We got like a whole family. We got Santa, the baby, the dog, the cat. But as far as the builds go, they were kind of mediocre at best. And then you had the this little snafu of the toy bunny being like the accessory toy bunny being having its own bag, its own spot. So that was kind of a miss. I hope next year's is a little better than this one. But on to Harry Potter. So for Harry Potter, day number 21, we got they had it down as like a Christmas wreath. I'm just calling it Christmas decorations. It's not really a wreath to me per se. Day 22, we had a banquet table, which confused me because it left the spot open. But day 23, which was the turkey, the meal. That makes sense because then it goes on top of that. So you take the little guy off here. Excuse me, Albus. Hopefully it goes on. There, just like that. So, then on day 24, instead of Santa, we get Albus Dumbledore rocking some very stylish red robe. And I believe it is an exclusive to this set. So very cool. I actually really like how the Harry Potter stuff ended. It went with the full theme of having a meal or a holiday meal in the Grand Hall type of a thing, and I love that. It represented the houses very well. I thought it did the decorations very well. They weren't over the top. They were cool. They were homely. It was just a nice warm scene, and I think it ended very well. And then for Star Wars on day 21, we got Darth Vader's castle, which was cool. I don't think I have anything that has to do with his buildings or headquarters or anything like that as an actual set. So that was cool to get. We also got the Razor Crest, which is one of my favorites from The Mandalorian. Love that. I don't have the collector or the UCS model, but I have the good size one that came out. That was a solid build. And then we have Luke's Land Speeder, which I have the UCS version of that one. And I love this build. Absolutely love it. And then we got the Crimson Firehawk, which was newer to me, but it made sense when I looked at what set it was in. This is a relatively newer set. It was actually from, let's see if I can bring it up real quick. It is from a show. Unless you have a little kid, you're probably not going to know the show. It was from the Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, which is on Disney Channel, or Disney Kids, I believe, or something like that. But it is much more of a kid show, and it's a kid build. It's for 4 and up. So I think overall, I think it's a really cool ship to include with this, going from all the way to the old ones that we had to something that's relatively new. That one came out in the last year or two. So I think that was a really good way of ending this whole calendar. And the Star Wars one is hands down my favorite this year. They nailed it out of the park. It had so much going for it with all the builds, the minifigs. It didn't get overdone with the minifigs, and the minifigs that were there were meaningful, which was cool. I mean, obviously, we're always going to get a Stormtrooper, but it was cool, or a Clone Wars person. So that was neat to have. Ahsoka Tano was cool to have. Leia, Skywalker, it was cool. I loved it all. But that's going to do it for the Advent calendars. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on how the graphing thing was going, project that I wanted to get into. So basically, let me see if I can find my mouse. There it is. I got everything labeled. The pie chart for everything is showing up correctly. The only issue is that for me to grab the info from this for the second set of information, the second table, the second column, it grabs them as 2 different labels, and I'm not sure. Because on this one, I'll give you an example. On this one, there's no category for horror. But in this one, there is. So like Resident Evil 2, 3, and Director's Cut all have horror with action next to them. But for D2 to D70, which is this column, it doesn't have it. For E, it does. So if I switched over to E, it switches the things, but it doesn't account for all of the ones in the first column. That's the issue I'm having. So I was thinking about making this really simple and just eliminating the second column altogether and going for what the main genre is in my eyes. So like Resident Evil, it's an action adventure horror game. I would just change it to horror. I mean, it's general. It's in the same category as like Silent Hill, Clock Tower, stuff like that, right? So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing just to make this simple. Because then everything on the first tab, when I put this in, when I put the pie chart here, it has to grab the information from all those individual pie charts. And when I start having 1 or 2 pie charts per page, that's a lot of confusing information to go back and forth. So I think I think that's what I'm going to do, is just limit it to one genre and call it a day there. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this video. My voice is starting to go, and I need some cough drops. So I'm going to run to Target, pick some up, along with maybe some green tea and honey. I think that'll work as well. But I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas or holidays, or however you're spending it with friends or family or by yourself. Sometimes that's all you really need is some peace and quiet. And I totally get that. But yeah, I had a good Christmas. My parents came over, did some gift exchange, had lunch together. What's really cool is my mom was able to get a deal on a Lego set that I already knew I was getting this gift, but she got me a boutique hotel. And I'm excited about that, primarily because I want to be able to take maybe that set and build something else with it as a mock build, or part it out. But I think doing a mock build would be really cool, especially when we do the city build. But I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I probably won't put out another vlog until next week during New Year's, so hope you guys have a good week until then. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and peace out.